guys, so in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be doing a part 2 of my American Girl doll community pet peeves. I did a part 1 of this a few months ago and other things have happened on Instagram. This is specifically AGIG. I've seen things on American Girl Instagram that has just not made any sense and driven me crazy, and I figured, you know what? It's time for another pet peeves video. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first pet peeve we have, and this is a recent one that's been happening, I guess ever since summer's release, not being able to voice opinions on new releases. And anything that's deemed negative. This one just doesn't make sense to me. And the reason is because I don't know about y'all, when new releases come out, I like to hear people's opinions. I don't want to hear all the same opinions of, oh, it's wonderful, oh, it's great, because we're not robots, okay? Like, we are not programmed to have the same opinion. So for people to get upset that if somebody doesn't like a release, they're like, oh, just don't say anything. Why do we all want to see the same opinions? Like, am I the only one, like, not understanding? It's weird. It's so weird. And the other thing is that it's not realistic to the real world. You're not going to go in the real world and everybody's going to have the same opinion on something. So to, like, basically, like, police Instagram and be like, oh, if you don't like this release, don't say anything, don't be negative. We're not all gonna like the same thing, and that's okay. But people should feel free to express that they don't like it and why. Yes, it's a children's brand, but we as collectors are still allowed to talk about it. The other thing about AGIG is that I understand that people use it as a safe place, as a place to escape from the real world, which is great. We all like to do that. However, I think there becomes a point where people treat it like it's a fantasy world. The doll community is a great escape, but if you are completely detached from all of reality, it's a little concerning. Next pet peeve, this is the second one. It kind of goes along with the first one, and it's basically telling people how to discuss and react to new releases and policing what people say and not say. Especially in reviews, I think, too, and this happens on YouTube. If I don't like something, I'm gonna let y'all know that I don't like it and why, because people want to hear that. People unfollow you if you're deemed negative on a new release. How old are we? Like, and this is a community full of a lot of adults specifically, and the people I've seen do this are adults. Pet peeve number 3 is one that I think we can all relate to, and that is, yes, American Girl is a children's company. They are dolls geared mostly towards children, with the exception of some releases being geared towards us collectors. As collectors, a lot of us longtime collectors, we are still allowed to discuss the changes that American Girl is making and whether we like them or not. And this is kind of tied in with the first and second one too, but as people who have loved the brand for so long, we're allowed to point out, you know, the changes they've made. Maybe changes that we think aren't really taking the brand in a good direction. I just feel like we are entitled, anybody is entitled to comment on the quality changes over the years. Whenever I make a review video, I like to point out, you know, I understand this is a children's brand, it's geared towards children, but I get so irritated when I see people, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, whatever, just in the doll community, saying, well, oh, it's not geared toward us, blah, blah, blah. We know that. Like, nobody forgot that. I don't think anybody, like, blatantly forgot that in their brain. We've loved the company for so long. If the stuff is cheap, we're gonna talk about it. If it's good quality and new, we're gonna talk about it. But if it's not, like, Pleasant Company quality, we're still allowed to talk about it. Alright, pet peeve number 4. And this is gonna hit a lot of people, and maybe it should. I don't know. Mistreating people publicly on stories, story posts on Instagram, including private stories. But not only private stories, mistreating people or indirectly posting about people without directly talking to them about issues. In instances of racism or homophobia, a lot of us will share it on our Instagram stories, and that's fine. But I'm saying is, like, if you have beef, like personal beef with another account, and you're like low-key talking about them on your stories, and you haven't talked to them about the issue you have with them directly, you're going to your stories instead of talking to them directly first, that's weird. I have seen people on their private stories talk about other people within the doll Instagram community but the people will be in their private stories. So it's like they will see that they're low-key being talked about. The amount of shade, crazy. And these are adults, y'all. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. We're not in high school. Like, what is going on? Like, pet peeve number 5 is one that I have seen, and I mentioned it in my last video, but apparently it's still happening. We're still gatekeeping fashion trends. Like, none of us started these fashion trends that we're using for our dolls. People are still getting upset if somebody else posts a coquette styled photo of their doll. After a while, the thing is, especially with like doll fashion trends and Etsy shops and stuff, we're all eventually, if we like the style, whatever trend it is, we're gonna dress our dolls like that. It's kind of hard to like gatekeep. The last pet peeve. This is number 6. Toxic AGIG friend groups. Lord have mercy. Again, we are grown adults. We are not in high school. The mean girl behavior is absolutely disgusting. I've never had an issue with a like friend group directly, whatever, but I've just seen the behaviors of certain friend groups. And it's almost like a sense of entitlement. I think they're better than everybody else. One, because of how many followers they have and who they're friends with and how many followers their friends have. If I ever become that person, which would never happen because that's just not my personality, but like I give y'all permission to like Instagram DM me and yell at me because that is so gross. I don't know if it's because they weren't popular in high school. I don't know if it's because they were popular in high school and then are bringing it into adulthood. I don't know what's going on. I will never be that account that like lets how many followers and who I'm friends with on the internet determine how I treat people. It's sad because a lot of these accounts don't start off on Instagram that way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely make sure to let me know in the comments if you agree with any of the pet peeves I mentioned. If you guys could think of any other Instagram kind of pet peeves you guys have, definitely make sure to let me know down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Also make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date when I post a new video every Friday. Also make sure to follow me on my AGIG so you can see pictures of some of my dolls, including Miss Amethyst here. And yeah, bye guys.